How are you lads? What's the crack? I went down to for a second. Spider here from Spider LFC. I am the Spider of the Spider LFC. It's not... Hang on a second. It's not rocket science, alright? Spurs Liverpool 1-3, 3-1 winners. Jose Mourinho, Marin himself. There was no better team lost this time, was there? There wasn't even a better team lost the first time, you muppet. Oh, it's thirsty work, lads. Oh yeah, the old football. We're supposed to be talking about that. Right lads, controversy again surrounding VAR and again with Liverpool. Are they ever going to get this right? We all cried out for this as football fans from every single team. We all cried out for this. Why can't the referee have a monitor at the side of the screen or somebody that they can talk to inside an office like they do in rugby to tell them that that was a foul, that guy was offside, that ball crossed the line. Now we have got goal line technology now to fill in for that. So that takes half of that burden away from the referees and the linesmen. It's faultless. It is brilliant. I think I've seen one incident. I think it was Sheffield United v Villa last season where it didn't work. But it was faultless. And it works. But VAR is still a huge controversy. It's still flawed in certain ways. You have to look at the Eredivisie to even get an idea of how good VAR could work. They've ignored all the guidelines that they've been told, and they just said, we're going to do what benefits football. We're not going to do what benefits the exact, how could I say, science of it. It's great saying science, but then you have momentum, you have position, you have all of that to take into account. And if lines only take in positions at a point, then it negates the fact that momentum takes that striker into that position. Turning or momentum takes that defender into where he is at that moment in time. So what they've done is that they've thickened the lines, and by thickening the lines they've allowed that little leeway of a window of momentum. So if a player is about to step offside and another player is trying to step up, the thicker lines, if they overlap, I think it's by a comparison of 87%. Anything over that and it's classed as offside. Anything under that is classed as onside or just level. But I think they're trying to bring it down to 76 to 78%. And if that's the case, it kind of comes into the guidelines of what VAR is all about. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get it right and also be in with the guidelines. So at a 78% margin, you're talking about a thicker line. You're talking about allowing a player momentum of offside. So if his elbow is offside, if his knee is just kind of slightly offside, you have to go pretty much by the center line of a person. A person lines up with a person. An elbow doesn't line up with another elbow. A knee doesn't line up with another knee. An ankle doesn't line up with another ankle. You know, I'm even losing speech here trying to explain it. You know, it's just what it is. VAR is flawed because it's too precise. And being that precise is ruining the game. They need to take momentum into account. They need to take position beforehand into account. For me, if I go back to Bobby Firmino against Villa, that's not offside. If I go back to Son against Liverpool, that's offside. But is that considered by IFAB the same state of play, the same phase? You know, he's offside by an ankle, but he wasn't running back. He was in position because he was walking. But other people are offside because they're on full momentum and they're trying to keep that line. They're trying to run across that line. They're trying to do it. And this has to be taken into consideration when you're talking about VAR. The referees have made judgment calls on offside for years and have been majority of times right about offside calls. Linesmen have done the same. There's a lot more speed these days in football in comparison to what it was years ago, and decisions are harder. So yeah, they do need the help of VAR, but it needs to be tweaked to be human and not robotic. If it's robotic, it takes away what is core about football. Do you know the anticipation? Was he just offside? We don't know. Was this and that? Oh yeah, VAR just spoiled it all. You know, it just, was that a goal? Oh no, let's take it back 16 steps. No, it's not a goal. It needs to be tweaked to do the right thing. The Eredivisie have done the right thing by stepping up and saying we've made our lines thicker. We're taking momentum into account. We're doing right by what the sport is. We're not doing right by what lines or pockets. We're not doing right by what the associations say it should be. We're taking VAR and benefiting it to football. We're not taking football and benefiting it to VAR. So I don't know what else to say about that. Just do the right thing. Use common sense. Fix VAR by letting it be a little bit broken. Look, I tend to waffle when I overthink things. I do. But I mean, that's just it. That's my opinion on VAR. You know? I also, like, I read into IFAB and I read into all of that and I go by the guidelines. But anyway, let's get back to this. West Ham, Liverpool this weekend. We have a chance. Arsenal are playing United. Chance to catch up in their points with them. We've pulled within 3 of them now. And then we got City to worry about after that. So my goal is go again. We go again. We're there. We're back. And that's it. You know, it's just, it's a work in progress. To say that we were gone, even though we've had a bad spell in December, stupidity. To say that we're back after the Spurs game, wishful thinking, but hopeful, right? It's wishful thinking, but hopeful. But now other people are starting, or the teams, I should say, are starting to falter around us. You know, Everton, Leicester drawing, United losing, City are the strongest. They're the strongest challenger to our crown. It's that simple. It really is that simple. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. Again, I'm speaking about rocket science in the one video. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that. It doesn't. Not at all. So, my predictions for this week are Everton Newcastle. It's got to be an Everton win, I think. I don't care if I don't like them. I just think it's going to be an Everton win unless Newcastle pull out like a whirly of it. Crystal Palace Wolves made a good showing against Chelsea, and Crystal Palace are just you just don't know what they're going to do. You never know what they're going to do. They're going to be up, down, up, down, up, down. Is Zaha playing? If Zaha's playing, they'll have a chance. If Zaha's not playing, Wolves win. Simple as. I'm not going to give like exact score predictions in some of these games. It's just not my forte, because if I did, I'd make money off it betting, and I'm not a betting man, so I try not to do it. So then you have Manchester City versus Sheffield United. Sheffield United being the conquerors of Manchester United, the Premier League champions of January 2021. Yeah, so City are on a roller. You can't see past them. I don't care what Sheffield United have done against Manchester United this week. That was their second win all season. If they manage to sit there and hold stock and do similar to Cheltenham, was it who City played in the FA Cup, then maybe they might squeeze something out, but I'm not too hopeful. City are just too strong, and that's the only way I can think about it with regards to that. We're going to be playing catch up. We have to beat them when we play them, and we have to hope that the other teams at least drop them points so that we can continue on regardless and do stuff and be involved. Champions! Arsenal versus Manchester United. Now this is a tough one. Arsenal have had, I think, 12 points out of their last 16, if I'm right or wrong. I mean, somebody can correct me on that. I haven't been paying much attention, but I've kind of had it in the back of my head. So, it's there, right there. United have been on a strong run of form. They look like kind of complacent against us, and in Sheffield United, they were horrendous against Sheffield United. So can they bounce back and do it against Arsenal? I don't think so. If anything, it could be a draw, but with the momentum that Arsenal have got, and they're at home, saying that, United like to play away from home as well. But it's still against a resurgent Arsenal. So Arsenal. a resurgent Arsenal. So yeah, I think Arsenal will take this. I'm not going to try and predict the score too much. It could be a 1-0, it could be a 3-1, it could be a 3-2, you know, but I still think that Arsenal will take it, or it's, if United get it, it'll be a draw. West Brom and Fulham. That's a 0-all draw all day, isn't it? I just, like, can you really look past 0-all? It's West Brom and Fulham. I'm just going to say 0-all. Southampton versus Aston Villa. Southampton scored scored 2 goals. 1 goal in 5 games before they met Arsenal the other night, and then scored early, and then they didn't score. And they're in a bad dip of form. So they beat us and then went into a savage dip of form either side of that. It's one of those freak ones. And Aston Villa have been there or thereabouts all season. They've been unlucky sometimes with results. They got stung by Burnley last week. It's a tough one to call. I don't know how to call this one, because if Aston Villa are on form, they'll take it. If Danny Ings is on form, I don't even know if he's injured again. I'd have to look that up. But with regards to the situation that they're in both at the moment, coming back from losses, and so it's probably got a draw written all over it. So maybe a scoring draw, so maybe like a 2-2, or somebody will nick it by a goal maybe. So I don't know. But yeah, those are my predictions. Whoop the fucking do. I'm at the end of my point. Look, lads, if you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe. You know, the usual. Leave a comment. Tell me you liked it. Give me some feedback. I'd appreciate it. Nice one. The Premier League champions